When I first got my griddle 5 years ago, I started with complicated things like hibachi. I wish I would have cooked these 5 delicious beginner-friendly recipes instead. Stuffed pancakes with bacon are actually a great first ever meal to cook on your Blackstone because it utilizes the full space of your new griddle, you're helping the seasoning out with some bacon grease, and it's breakfast outside. That's why you bought a Blackstone, right? I know that's why I bought one. I like to get my griddle around 375 degrees for pancakes and bacon. That's all 4 burners on low for roughly 7 minutes on my griddle, but it could be different on yours, which is why I recommend an infrared thermometer. Go ahead and put the bacon down, then flip it every few minutes. Your griddle is going to have hot and cold spots. Some places will cook the bacon faster than others. All griddles are like this. I also threw down some sausage patties. They went down after the bacon because they cook a little faster. As pieces of bacon get done to my liking, I'll pull them and put them on the wire rack. If you don't have a little wire rack like this, you could always just shove them off into the corner. It's usually not as hot over there. I'm scraping the bacon grease in bits as I go, getting it ready for the pancakes in a minute or two. And once all the bacon's done, I'll scrape the whole thing down, and then we'll move the bacon and sausage back to one of the corners. No need for oil, we're just cooking it in the residual bacon grease. And we'll check the temperature again. I apologize for the glare, but we're still floating around 375, maybe a little higher at spots closer to 400. That's fine. I just don't like to go over 400 personally for my pancakes. This is just a box mix that I church up with a little bit of vanilla extract and sour cream. I haven't really found a scratch recipe that I like better than just like boxed mix from Kroger or like Krusteaz, but I know that's blasphemy to some people. It's just me. If you got a really good scratch pancake recipe, share it in the comments and I'll give it a try. I'm using a 2-ounce ice cream scoop to put the pancakes on the griddle. Then I'll use the probe to see if the sausage is done. Again, I love the 2-in-1 thermometer from ThermoPro. Get the surface temperature, get the internal temperature of the sausage. I have a link in the description with 10% off if you want to grab one. It's hard to tell looking at them, but there are chocolate chips in the pancake batter. Trust me, my son insisted on putting them in. I will flip the pancakes that have the most bubbles first. The middle of my griddle, again, hot and cold spots. You can see that's where it's hotter. They're cooking faster, so I flipped those pancakes. But overall, it was about 3 to 4 minutes on the first side for all the pancakes. Then we'll make these stuffed pancakes by adding a super simple filling of 8 ounces of whipped cream cheese and 1 pudding cup. I used banana cream pudding this time. I've also used vanilla pudding in previous videos, lemon pudding with blueberry pancakes. I've done these a lot. These are a great meal. Church it up any way you want. You can definitely do this. Also, if you notice a small spoon and a little 4-year-old hand, that's my son making sure we don't waste any of that pudding that was left in the cup. FYI, all these recipes will be in my free ebook, which is in the description below if you want to sign up for the newsletter and get that. So I do 1 spoonful of filling on the pancake, then I spread it around with the back of the spoon, then another pancake, then more filling, another pancake, some whipped cream on top, and chocolate chips. Oh boy, I'm starting to do some powdered sugar, make it look good for the internet, and we just lost this whipped cream. It was hot, it just slid off the back. So we threw it on the white plate, fixed the whipped cream. Great meal. I don't recommend doing eggs as when you're first cooked. They can sometimes be a little tricky. So instead of doing eggs to order, maybe do an egg casserole and make these pancakes and bacon as like your first cook on the griddle to get used to it. These are basically ground beef tacos, but we're utilizing the space of the griddle to get super crunchy shells. Perfect beginner cook because it's easy, but also can kind of only be done on a griddle. So that is 1 small white onion that I put down on the griddle, and then we're just gonna kind of toss it around in the avocado oil, pound of ground beef. I have fajita seasoning. You could use just a taco packet or a taco seasoning if you like it. This is just normal taco procedure. Brown up the ground beef at 375 degrees with an onion, then pull it off the griddle, and I'm putting it in this Pyrex glass dish, okay? Then we're gonna add 8 ounces of shredded cheese. I like to shred it myself from a block, and mix it in with the hot meat, okay? It's gonna create the filling, which is nice and soft. Add a decent amount of peanut oil. You could use avocado, I just like peanut for frying. Then here goes all of my corn tortillas in the oil. Fill each one with the filling. And what we're gonna do is fold them over, and then you get these really crispy, fresh, hard tacos that are just so good. You can fill them with whatever you want. Normal taco filling like lettuce or tomato. These are a must make. The sausage scramble is another great first cook with eggs, if this is your first time doing eggs, because it helps get the griddle to the proper temperature. Let me explain. We'll start with some avocado oil, put down my frozen potatoes first. You always want to cook whatever takes the longest first if you just got a griddle. So I like these red skin frozen potatoes from Kroger. Use whatever you want, frozen, fresh, whatever you want. Add a little more oil on top, spread them out. You can see our griddle is rising in temp. I'm shooting for like 375 to 400 degrees again. Then I actually spread them out even more to make sure the potatoes aren't touching and get a good color on each one. After 5 minutes, you can see we're starting to get a bit of color, but not as much as I want. So we'll just let them sit. Don't flip them yet. They're really going to take a total of 15 minutes, which is why you got to give them a head start before the other ingredients. Speaking of other ingredients, here's half a pound of breakfast sausage and about half a white onion diced. I bought the pre-diced stuff because this is a beginner video. Let's make it as easy as possible. Pre-diced veggies, frozen taters. I went ahead and chopped up the breakfast sausage and got it flat to start searing on the griddle, then tossed the onions around a bit. Now I will start to flip these potatoes. It has been about 10 to 12 minutes at 375, with me not really touching them at all. And these are also pre-seasoned pretty heavily, so I'm not adding any other seasoning to the potatoes. Once I get them flipped, we'll move over and check the sausage. It's also ready to be flipped. I'll start breaking it up into little pieces. Then we'll toss the onions again, and I'm actually going to go ahead and split the onions up. I will move half of them over with the potatoes and give that all a nice mix together. Now the potatoes and onions look good. I want to keep them warm but stop cooking, so I'll move them all the way to the wall and turn that burner off. The sausage is all done, so I will mix the onions with it, and then I am going to make it into like a circle. The sausage, onions will act as like a wall to keep my scrambled eggs from going everywhere. Also, the sausage should have lowered the temperature on that part of the griddle to get it closer to between 300 and 325 degrees. 319 perfect, which that's where I like to do my eggs. Any higher and they're going to cook too fast and you risk burning your eggs. Okay, there should be plenty of sausage grease to cook them in, but I spritz a little more oil down just to make sure the eggs don't stick. I just got this oil spritzer. It's nice, but it also is only $10 on Amazon, so I'm half expecting it to break after a month or so. We'll see. I'll report back in the future. Pour the eggs in there and let them set up. I still lost some of the eggs because I had to run inside for my cheese. I forgot my cheese, and it looks like there's a little hole in the dam that I made, but not bad, huh? Okay, so 1/4 cup of shredded cheddar right in the eggs. Then we'll start mixing it all together. Move the eggs around, fold them in on themselves as they start to set up. Now this is a simple 5-ingredient potato, sausage, onion, eggs, and cheese. But if you want to kick it up a bit, you can make breakfast burritos. 8-inch tortillas on the griddle and some more oil. I added some green chilies to the egg mixture, salt and pepper. I almost forgot, didn't forget though. And about 1/4 cup of the egg sausage filling will go into each tortilla. Then we'll fold them up and we basically just made McDonald's breakfast burritos. Huh? How about that? If you really want to church it up for the internet, add some avocado, pico de gallo. Look at this, we got baby geese going across in the pond back there, which is nice because my wife and I actually just had our second child about 3 weeks ago, so a lot of new babies around springtime out here. The Italian Stallion sausage sandwich, this is something you'd get at a county fair, and it is Tank Hill approved as we turn on the Blackstone again. 5 Johnsonville hot Italian sausages going down, and my pot for the red sauce. This is that fancy Rayo's, definitely not Kroger brand because I'm classy and I can afford $8 marinara. So I put these sausages down while the griddle was warming up because I just wanted them to start cooking. We got to get the insides done of these sausages without burning the outsides. Normally I would use my dome to help cook them through, but since this is a beginner video, I don't want to use a bunch of accessories you may not have yet. So I just did it without the dome. After I moved them to a new spot, you can see our griddle is around 320 and rising. I'm again shooting for 375 on this, and I'll keep flipping them regularly to new spots on the griddle. For example, now I'll line them up and kind of try to get them up on that curve of the sausage just to get another color on that spot. And here comes the peppers and onions. 1 medium red, yellow, and green pepper sliced, and a medium white onion. I will keep moving these around and cooking them in all the drippings from the sausage. The sauce is starting to steam, so I'll move it to the corner. Don't want to burn that. If it's bubbling, it could start to burn. Flipping the sausages again, moving the veggies over. Man, these sausages were on the griddle for about 15 to 18 minutes total. Sauce is looking good, so I'll actually put it on the wire rack now so it doesn't burn. Take a look at the sausages, and they're looking real nice, Clark, real nice. But at the end, one of them looked like it wasn't cooked, so I'm going to kind of stand it up and try to get some heat on that. And all right, let's temp them to make sure. I want to go about 160 degrees. I hate to pierce the skin and let the juices out. I'm sure there's some sausage purists out there that are freaking out. But look, I just want to make sure they're done, okay? So I'm not getting my family sick. And this one's good. We'll move them all to the side and finish these peppers. We got some salt and pepper going down on the veggies, then 1 tablespoon of white sugar and a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. This is the same thing I did for my peppers on my Italian sausage patty melt. Then we'll do the old 2 spatula toss. If you don't have 2 spatulas going, or you even griddling, I don't know, tree falls in the woods sort of thing. If you get the nice saucy consistency going, oh, I'd highly recommend doing this. It just makes this little sausage great. Separate the veggies into 5 piles and we'll assemble these 2 different ways. Some with provolone cheese and the red sauce and some without. Then put the buns on top of the ones with provolone. I got Perfection Bakery sub rolls that I had to cut myself, and then I also got the Aunt Millie's Johnsonville brat buns that go with the brats. This is a good looking griddle right here, man. Won't be disappointed with this. Spatula underneath. Now the cheese will melt in between the hot sausage and veggies. It's just so hot. We'll flip it, get that $8 red sauce that I got on sale for $4. Hey-o. And I like to wrap these in foil. This helps keep them warm while I clean the griddle, and I really feel like it softens the bun. I learned this when I started doing it with my Philly cheesesteaks, and so I kind of transferred over to this as well, and I really like the results I'm getting. The other one on the Aunt Millie's bun, I'm just doing as is. You don't need anything. I'll eat that. Maybe I'll add some mustard, but the vinegar sugar mixture is great, you know? Okay, cut these in half, and oh yeah, that one looks good. Give that one to my wife. Let's plate this up on my specialty white plate. I've been doing a lot of junk food sides lately, and people also like to make fun of the way I say onions. So today we got some Funyuns. That's right, sour cream and Funyun to be exact. This sandwich is a must make for any new griddle owner. Definitely give it a try. So if I ever do something real stupid and my wife gets upset with me, I make her chicken fajitas, maybe a little margarita in the backyard. Start off with these fresh tortillas. I found at Kroger. A viewer recommended these. It was my first time trying them, and they turned out really well. Highly recommend giving them a try if you can find them. You just put them on the ungreased griddle, don't add oil, at about 375 degrees and let them cook for 1 minute per side. I have a clean towel and a pot to put them in, and we'll keep them warm after they are done. And what I did is, after I got them all in there and folded the towel in it, I pushed the pot all the way up to the side of my griddle, because you know the sides get hot. So rather than just continue to melt plastic bottles, which I've done a ton of times, maybe I'll utilize that heat to keep the tortillas warm. Some avocado oil down, then 1 pound of chicken breast that I sliced up and marinated for about an hour. So first what I did is I cut the breast in half and patted them dry with a paper towel, then cut them into slices. I put some salt right on top of them, directly on the chicken. Then I put them in the bowl with the marinade. And again, all these recipes are in the free ebook in the description, but it's like a chicken bouillon cube, chili powder, smoked paprika, oregano, onion powder, black pepper, cumin, garlic powder, 1 lime that my son insisted on helping squeeze in there. He loves the lemon and lime squeezer, and about 1 tablespoon of avocado oil. That's real rough measurement. I eyeballed it to make it into a paste. Then when the chicken goes in, then I went to the fridge for about an hour, but you could leave it for like up to 4 hours if you'd like. We got more peppers and onions, green, yellow, orange, onion, white, sliced on the griddle. After 4 or 5 minutes, when you start getting some color on the chicken, you can start flipping those strips. Now I didn't do a great job of making even strips, so any of the ones that are really small or thin, I moved over to the side early so they wouldn't dry out. Once I get them all over there, I'll move the veggies right where the chicken was, add some more oil, and start tossing. I'm trying to pick up all that seasoning and flavor off the griddle from the chicken and seasoning into the veggies. 2 spatulas again. We'll tempt the chicken to see if it's almost done. We're shooting for 165, and we are above that, so let's mix it all together now. Then I'll add a little water to keep continuing to pull up that seasoning and fond from the griddle. And slow motion, 2 spatulas. Now we're just showing off for the neighbors. Everybody on the plate piled high with fresh tortillas at the end. I got some small white bowls to go with my big white plate, really stepping my game up. Guac, sour cream, pico de gallo. I did not make these, I just bought them from the store to keep it simple. Squeeze a lime on top, and you got restaurant quality fajitas at home, living the Midwest middle class dream. As I said, all 5 recipes are in my free ebook, which is in the description, or you can click the link on your screen. It also signs you up for my weekly Griddle newsletter. It's about a 2-minute read with more free recipes. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one and keep on griddling.